traditional esports organization, when you're a player of this caliber, when you're a world-class, world-renowned player, when you have a huge social media following, everyone knows exactly who you are, you don't necessarily need this kind of all behind you. Like, yeah, it's great to have the admin team behind you and the managers and all that sort of thing. But like you said, if you're more than happy to put the work in yourself and actually delegate some of the work out, I guess, to like you could hire a couple like some social media guys or a general manager for just to take care of the general running of the business.
A guy like Tom to do pretty much all of our dirty work.
Exactly. That's been a great help for us.
Yeah.
You can actually set yourself up a lucrative business and something you own a share in. When you're part of, like, say, we're using Fnatic as an example right now, it's relevant. When you're a player for them, you're just a player. You're part of the machine, right? You're kind of operating with them. You're kind of representing them, and yeah, that's a great prospect in terms of how it's always been run. Like, you play the game. That's what you need to worry about is playing the game. They'll sort everything out for you. They'll pay your salary. They get the sponsors in. They send you to the events. They book all the hotels and stuff like that. But you're not. It's like renting. It's like comparison to like renting and buying a house, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
If you have this own organization, you're actually every event you go to and every step you get closer to making the top team, that's paying something off. You're actually building your organization to the next level. And then when you have this player-owned organization, you make all the calls. It's not like an organization can tell you, we need you to go to this event. It's great exposure for us. Like it's huge. It's a massive viewership. We need to be there. If your team doesn't feel prepared necessarily, they don't have to have that pressure anymore, right? They don't have to. They get to call all the shots. I think this is a really interesting model now, and I think obviously Astralis, I'm almost certain they were the first team to do it, at least at this level.
Yeah, at this level, yeah.
And they kind of set the model for that. They've been very successful in that.
The weird thing is, in a roundabout way, although I see the point, and we know a lot about teams not. It was kind of an issue that's kind of, I think, been fixed and addressed in a lot of ways, and it's getting better. But we know situations of teams that were. Let's say, we'll use Luminosity as an example. We'll use the Brazilians, because I'm not going to paint the Luminosity organization as an example like this, because I don't know if that's exactly how it was, but they're the perfect growth. So the Brazilians came over from nowhere, started up, got an organization, get to the very top. Let's say, again, I said their name already, so I just want to clear that. I'm not suggesting Luminosity did this, but this is the prime example. Let's say that organization picks up sponsorship, but it's based on the player's performance, but the players aren't seeing that. That was an issue in the past,
and you don't even know what that deal's worth, right? So exactly. that could be like that. You've basically brought that sponsor in for them. You're the number one CS:GO team in the world, and the organization is going out to them. Like you said, this is purely an example. This is hypothetical. You're going out. You're being the world's best team. You're winning majors, and in terms of that, the organization, they're going to attract these new sponsors. They're going to this is the world's best team. Well, of course, we're the sponsor number one. You can go and sign this deal. So, we've got the number one team, of course. We're going to need this much money. And the players aren't in these meetings. They're not there. They don't know what's going on. And that could be a 6-figure deal, maybe more. And at that point, you've signed it off and the players go, oh, you signed a new sponsor. What's that worth? You go, oh, it's just like hardware and PCs, that's the thing where you have no idea.
Well, and again, this has been brought up, hardware. Like, you're not going to put Cristiano Ronaldo in the wrong cleat. You're not going to make a goalie in the NHL play with a company that has the worst feel in his glove. Like, you want to have the touch points, you want to have everything right. And in gaming, Kenny-esque, crazy good accuracy, only works so good with Fnatic gear, and you put him on another brand, and all of a sudden he's complete shit. You're ruining your own marketing.
Great example of that. Astralis, before they were TSM, forced to use Logitech gear, right? Yeah. And you could tell that as soon as they left, not a single player uses Logitech gear anymore. Not a single one. And I just go to show you that's insane to like stifle your players in that manner to say, sorry guys, the sponsors won't be happy. You have to use this fucking piece of shit mouse and this horrible keyboard. And they're like, okay, well, all right, well, we'll do it. We won't be able to play as well. This is where the money comes from, boys. You need to do this.
So this is kind of why. So this is the whole point I was making. So Astralis, in a weird way, if you look at it, it's kind of going back to the old school ways where they're going to do things themselves, which is why orgs came around in the first place, because teams realized they can't do it all themselves. But now they've been bullied and pushed around and fucked over so much that they want to go back and do it themselves. They understand the differences, though, I think. They've learned what they need to get from an org. So now they can hire that person, like the manager. In Godsend's case, Amelia Holt. There's a few other people in the background.
And these guys, like, they're going to have the money to invest into it as well, right?
Exactly.
They're taking investment capital to get into it, but they're going to have enough to get, okay, this would be worth it. We'll be able to attract our own sponsors. We'll set up our own office. We can actually have the operation we want. And you're absolutely right. I think that's a really attractive prospect for these guys. Just in terms of, like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with the whole esports brands as a whole. They help out tremendously getting to where we are. We wouldn't exist as esports without these kind of companies. It just wouldn't happen, right? But the fact is, when you get to a certain level and you have the opportunity and you have your own funding to actually make this happen, it makes a lot of sense. You have to admit, like it's a difficult process to get going, and it's a lot of hard work. But if you're willing to do it, I think this is a fantastic move, and that's why we've got 3 of the Fnatic players formerly the world's best team for a very, very long time, jumping ship from their mother organization to...
And it's not like this roster, everyone on that roster is a major winner.